Thom Hartmann here on the news. You need to know this. Troy Davis died last night at 11:08 p.m., and dying with him was the legitimacy of our criminal justice system. Just minutes after the United States Supreme Court unanimously denied a last-minute appeal for a stay of execution, Davis was strapped into a gurney and wheeled into the death chamber. With his final words, he once again proclaimed his innocence, telling the family of slain officer Mark McPhail that he was innocent and that he urged them to keep seeking the truth. He told his family to keep praying, keep fighting. And then he turned to his executioners and said, "May God have mercy on your souls." And with that, the lethal drug cocktail was pumped into his arm, and Davis was dead 15 minutes later. Davis's attorney, Jason Ewert, witnessed the execution and said afterward, "I had the unfortunate opportunity tonight to witness a tragedy, to witness Georgia execute an innocent man. Now the entire nation has to live with it. Time for some soul-searching in America. Do we really want to be a nation that executes the innocent?" Oil oligarchs Charles and David Koch are now worth $50 billion, more than 5 times what it was 10 years ago, making their combined wealth second only to Bill Gates. And it looks like they made a large chunk of their money screwing the rest of us over at the gas pump. According to the Center for American Progress, for the last several years, the Kochs have engaged in rampant oil speculation, meaning they place bets that the price of oil will go up, and when it does go up, they make a ton of money, while the rest of us have to deal with paying more at the pump to keep our cars running. According to Goldman Sachs, thanks to banksters and the Kochs manipulating oil prices, each barrel of oil is roughly $27 more expensive because of speculation. Between 2004 and 2008, when the price of oil surged from around $30 a barrel to well over $100 a barrel, the Kochs also saw their fortunes surge from $5 billion to well over $35 billion. And back in 2009, Think Progress reports that the Kochs admitted that they are one of the top 5 oil speculators in the world. These guys aren't job creators. They're apparently among the hucksters who are running up the price of gas and ruining our economy. In the best of the rest of the news, Speaker of the House John Boehner has lost control of his caucus. Last night, in a desperate bid to prevent a government shutdown, Republican leadership brought to the floor a temporary spending bill to keep the government funded just through November. But 48 Republicans voted no on that measure because they were unhappy with spending levels in it, specifically $1 billion Eric Cantor had put in for disaster relief, and the bill failed. That brings the nation one step closer to a government shutdown, and it also keeps victims of Hurricane Irene still in need of help, as Republicans hold much-needed disaster relief aid hostage until their demands of more job-killing spending cuts are met. Back in April, Republicans nearly shut down the government over Planned Parenthood funding, you may recall. Now it looks like they're doing it again over disaster relief funding. The Tax Policy Center is affirming the fact that millionaires and billionaires are not paying their fair share in America. According to their research, 1 out of every 4 millionaires pays a lower tax rate than the average middle-class household. The super rich in this country use our roads and bridges, our courts and law enforcement, and our educational system. Many of them just don't think they have to pay for it. So who are the real freeloaders in America? Despite a guaranteed veto by the United States, the Palestinian Authority is pushing full steam ahead with a vote in the UN to recognize Palestine as an independent state and a permanent member of the United Nations. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu praised President Obama yesterday for taking a stand against Palestinian statehood, saying the president deserved a badge of honor. Meanwhile, a new poll in the Jerusalem Post today shows a huge disconnect between the Israeli people and their hardline government. According to the poll, 69% of Israelis say their nations should support UN recognition of Palestine as an independent state. There will certainly be no easy solutions to this standoff. In Greece, a public transit strike in response to a new round of austerity measures has brought the Athens government, the city of Athens, in fact, to a grinding halt today. The government in Athens has been resorting to desperate measures to get more and more money, borrowed money, from the European Union and the IMF. And by desperate measures, I mean screwing over working people so they can use that borrowed money to pay off the banksters. The government is cutting public workers' pensions, raising their taxes, furloughing 30,000 government workers. That move led to taxi drivers, air traffic controllers, teachers, and municipal workers walking out on their jobs today. As the head of the Athens Chamber of Commerce, Konstantinos Mikalos, said, Greece is being turned into a poverty house. There's no compass. This government doesn't know where it's going. Greece has pursued cuts in government services all year to meet the demands of the IMF and EU, and so far all it's done is further cripple their economy and bring the nation closer and closer to default. As the UK and now the United States is finding out, spending cuts kill economic growth, which in turn causes bigger deficits. Will the real economists in Europe and the United States please take over and stop this cutting insanity? And that's the way it is today, Thursday, September 22nd, 2011. I'm Thom Hartmann on the news.